Organize your desktop. First of all, someone might have used your computer last year and you might have a really, really messy desktop. And so we'll talk about cleaning up those files. But the first thing I wanted to talk to you about was organizing what's called your dock. So that's these bank of icons down here. We call that a dock on a Mac, and then this whole space with this background picture, we call this the desktop, and then we call this up here, we have the main menu. So we want to be able to control what's in our dock, and these are shortcuts to commonly used applications, but you might not need some of these, and we're missing like all the Adobe software programs that you'd be using often. So what I want to do is remove some of these. So I'm going to click and drag Keynote off and Mail. There's a picture on your lab guide that actually has all the items that you should have standard on your dock. But how do I've removed some, where are these other applications? So I'm going to go to Go and then Applications. And then these are actually all the applications that are currently installed on this Mac. So again, you're just going to go to the folder and you're going to double click it, and then you'll see an icon representing that software program, and you're going to click and drag it down to your dock. And you're going to do that for all of the Adobe products that we're going to be using in class. Most commonly one that you'll be using is something called Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop, and I'm going to drop down there. So again, you might have to go inside a folder to find some of these icons that you need to drag down. And notice that the icons get smaller the more that you drag down there. So these are the commonly used ones that you want to have in your dock. So I'm not going to finish. Just take a look at the picture and make sure that yours looks like mine. So again, another really helpful one is something called image capture. This is something you're going to use to scan. So that's another really important one that you want to have down there. Okay, now notice that I don't have anything on my desktop. I don't have any hard drives or anything like that. So I actually need to go to Finder, and to do that I'm going to pick the double face over here to make sure that I am in Finder. And then I'm going to go to Preferences, Finder Preferences, and I want to make sure that all of these items are checked off. So I want to make sure all of them are checked off so that I see my external hard drive. If I plug in any external hard drive or jump drive or SD card, that will pop up here. And then I also want to see that I'm connected to a server if I am. Okay, so try to keep your desktop clean. And the other thing that you have to know is that anybody could take a file and throw it in the trash. So multiple students are using the same computer 8 periods a day. They have access to your files, and we'll talk about backing those up a little bit later. So just keep all of your files in one folder, and you don't have to worry about losing them and other people getting to them, and we'll show you how to back them up on the cloud to make sure that you can get to them. So the next thing we want to do is launch Google Chrome. Again, you might have had to go to Applications and bring that down here if it wasn't here. So I'm going to open up Google Chrome, and I'm going to go to Chrome and then Preferences, and then I need to scroll all the way down to where it says Advanced. And it's going to give me some more options, and I need to find where it says Autofill Settings. So I'm going to select this one, and I want to turn off autofill. And what that means is that once you put in your information, it will say, do you want to save your name and your last name and your credit card information? No, these are not your personal computers. You don't want to save that information. So you want to turn autofill off. The next thing that you want to do is go down to Manage Passwords, and you want to make sure that you turn off offering to save passwords. You don't want to save passwords here. So it says save passwords. You might have to delete any that are here. You don't want to save passwords. So I'm leaving this on because this is my computer, but make sure you turn that off so that it's not auto signing in. You shouldn't have any of these saved because you don't want your password saved and somebody using them to get into your stuff. So don't do that. Now, the last thing you want to do is find clear browsing data right here. And you want to go to Advanced. If you're not, it might be on Basic. Make sure you're on Advanced. You want to check off all these things. You want to delete any accidental passwords or autofill that's accidentally saved and I'm going to say all time. And then I'm going to hit clear data, and that's going to mean that any passwords that are saved into Chrome, any autofill data is going to be removed from all time. Because again, you don't want other people's passwords, you don't want your passwords, you don't want it saving that information because that's nobody else's business. And that is setting up your desktop.